They might not be 21st century ladies space that we might like. Hello, welcome to another edition of the Superintendent Spotlight. I'm Mike Kurt, Superintendent here in Wichita Falls ISD. Today I'm honored to have with me Brady Woolsey, the Executive Director of Operations for Wichita Falls ISD. What in the world does an Executive Director of Operations do, Brady? You have quite a big job. Tell us about it.
That's a good question. I have the awesome opportunity to working with a great group of people in the operations area, from maintenance, custodial, warehouse, fixed assets, print shop, all those type of behind the scenes features, as well as the contracted services folks, food service to custodial and grounds and the transportation system. So I have a great group of people. They're all working together to support the district and make that instruction as good as it can be.
Correct. So I think you mentioned maintenance in there. And so our maintenance department is pretty big. We have a lot of buildings they have to maintain on a regular basis and do an awesome job. So tell us about maintenance.
Yeah, Chris Fain, our maintenance director, does an awesome job. He has a great group of people, probably about 40 guys that everything from plumbers, painters, the building techs that take care of every little detail in the school. Have a couple of ladies over at the office that take care of that end of it, HVAC technicians, carpenters. It's a great group, around 40 or so people.
Okay, and so they handle anything that breaks, anything that doesn't work in our school district, anything that needs to be repaired, they work on those things. So about how many maintenance tickets or so are put in on a yearly basis?
Well, it's really a stunning amount. We had last year over 17,500 completed work orders, which for 40 guys over a period of time, it's a great challenge. They do a great, awesome job, especially when they're trying to do these things with the kids in the classroom or, schools in session. So it's a great group. A lot of work orders completed.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so we just had Thanksgiving break and had a whole week off from school. But I don't think maintenance took the whole week off. Tell me about that.
No, they didn't. They worked their breaks. They worked summers while the kids aren't there, and that's really a great time for those guys to get into those classrooms and into the schools to take care of that kind of work. So they get a lot of work done. Work like painting and flooring and your ceiling and those type of electrical work and those type of things that they can get in there and do while the kids aren't in school. So it's a great opportunity to get a lot done.
Okay. So as you know, we have had a facility study completed and showed we had $170 million in capital improvements needed throughout our district. Whenever we look at those on a yearly basis, which we don't have obviously $170 million to devote to that, we may have a couple $1 million a year. How do we go about prioritizing those things?
That's a great question. We have a group of maintenance supervisors that get together and they get a big list of needs that throughout the district. They pare those needs down and prioritize them and compare them to the other needs throughout the district. And they get that together and they kind of correlate it with the instruction. In other words, what type of work would be a priority would be the lighting, the HVAC, those type of things that these kids would affect their instruction time. And so those are the kind of things that they look at their list of priorities for.
So I think we have about 6, maybe even 7 buildings now that over the next 5 or 6 years are going to be 100 years old. What goes into maintaining a 100-year-old building?
Well, they're similar to a home that would be 100 years old. You don't live in a home for 100 years without doing some major work. So those are the kind of things that are a challenge with a 100-year-old school, are those things that you can't see. The water lines, sewer lines, the infrastructure behind the walls, those type of electrical upgrades and things like that. So many of the schools have these challenges, and for instance, some of the older schools have those solid walls. So over time, to add electrical or a computer drop to a classroom, they'd have to surface mount that type of conduit in order to get the electrical to that school. So there's a lot of challenges that come along with those older schools.
So as we look at possible facility bond issues here in the coming years, or maybe sooner than that, I've heard people make the comment about, well, you don't even maintain what you have, and I disagree with that, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Well, you know, that's a personal thing to me. Having worked with these people, I can attest to the fact that the job that they do and the quality of work that they do. Because of that quality of work, oftentimes, because the schools look good and they perform well, oftentimes you don't see the issues that are behind the scenes. So it's really amazing the quality of service that these folks have, and the high standard that they have, which is the reason that these schools are lasted so long.
Yeah, I agree, because just because people might know something's not right or something's broke or whatever, doesn't mean we haven't fixed it. I haven't fixed it multiple times, and replacing it is pretty hard to do sometimes and very cost prohibitive.
Sure.
At the same time also.
Absolutely.
So we have a lot of in-district services, and then you also manage some contracts for us: transportation, food service, grounds, custodial services, all of those different programs. What do we look for when we're looking for partners that have an expertise in a certain field that we don't necessarily have here in the district?
Well, I think the quality of their teamwork. We talk to other schools who have had these folks in their team and evaluate how well they work together to form a common bond, to perform their particular skill sets, so that we can move forward with the quality education that we have here.
Good, that's awesome. So I know your staff, they work incredibly hard, and I want to thank you for all you do, and thank you for visiting with me today. Anything else you'd like to add about operations that maybe
absolutely.
we didn't touch on?
I just want to give a shout out to all these people and the quality of work that they do, and they work very, very hard to make sure that we have a quality education here. Behind the scenes stuff that you don't see goes on all the time. So shout out to those folks.
Great. Thank you, Brady. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
And thank you.